Hey everybody, it's Chad from Stick's Blog. I'm Stick, and today I'm going to do a DIY video. Ever since I got my Zero Tolerance 0550, I really like the Stonewash on the blade, and I just really like the look of the Stonewash on the blade. A lot of my other knives, such as the Tenacious, have more of a satin finish on it. So I've been looking around because I've heard people mention about stonewashing blades themselves. So I've been looking around and I found out that there are some poor man methods of stonewashing your blades. So I went out and I grabbed a couple of things, and I'm going to attempt to stonewash the blade and any other hardware that I can safely remove from my Tenacious. This is my Spyderco Tenacious. It's a great blade, I love it. I don't feel like the process that I'm fixing to do to it is going to destroy it in any way. However, it is going to take the edge off of it. So I am going to have to resharpen it, but I've got my Spyderco sharp maker that I'm going to be able to resharpen it with after I get done. But anyway, all I'm going to do is I've got a plastic container here, and all this is it's a Kraft's lemonade or some kind of Kool-Aid drink or something was in that. This is going to be the vessel that holds everything. I've got some, this is supposed to be WD-40. I went to the store just a second ago to pick up some more, and when you know it, they're all out. So I got the generic WD-40. And then I've got two different sizes of stones. I've got some river rock stones, and then I've got some smaller gravel because the bigger pieces may not be able to get up in some of the edges and stuff like that. So I'm going to put a mixture of both different kinds of rocks in there. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take this apart, throw everything that I can inside this bucket. Then I'm going to add some of the stones, spray a little bit of WD-40 in there. After I get down, of course, I'll close up the top. The towel that I have everything laying on here, I'm actually going to roll the towel around this to kind of pad it. And then I've got some tape here. I'm going to tape the towel around it so it doesn't come loose. And then I'm going to throw it in my dryer for about an hour and a half or 2 hours on a no heat setting. After that, I'll take it out and we'll take a look at it and we'll get everything put back together and see how it works out. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take this apart and I'll get back to you in just a minute. So hang on. Okay, you can see here I have the knife taken apart. Of course, here's one of the scales. Of course, I've got the blade, got the pocket clip. Here's the liner that actually has the liner lock on it. There's actually a bronze phosphor washer in there. And back here I have two other bronze phosphor washers. And then I have all the screws from which I took out. Taking it apart, I decided I'm for sure not going to do the screws because I don't want to mess up the threads on the screws and not be able to put the knife back together. And I don't think I'm going to do the liner because I'm having a little trouble getting this one off, and I don't want to mess up any of the screws like I said. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and do the pocket clip and the actual blade. Okay. I've got my container here. I went ahead and I've got some of the rocks out of the bags. I tried to pick out some of the, with the bigger rocks, I tried to pick out some of the smaller ones that weren't quite as jagged, kind of more rounded and smooth. I don't know exactly how many rocks to put in there. I can only go by what I saw other people do. So I'm just going to put these in there to start with, and we're going to see what it looks like after that. I may put some more of the smaller rocks in, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I'm going to put a few more rocks in. So I've got my blade, I'll put it in. I don't have any tape or anything on it. And I'm going to put my pocket clip in there. And I am going to go ahead and add, there's not as many rocks as I thought. Just add a few more in there. Okay. That should be pretty good to make a lot of noise. So I'm going to go ahead and take my generic WD-40 and just kind of spray a little bit in there to kind of help keep dust down and kind of make things roll better. Close that up and go ahead and get it wrapped up in the towel. Okay, I've got it all wrapped up. and I think it's going to be okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it back and put it in the dryer. Like I said, I'm going to put it on the no heat setting, and I'm going to leave it in there for about an hour and a half or 2 hours, just with whenever I guess I feel like I can't wait no longer, and I'll pull it out and take a look at it then. Okay guys, it's been 90 minutes in the dryer, so I'm going to take it out and look at it. Some of the reading and videos I came across, some people said they did it for about 90 minutes, some people said they did it for 120 minutes. So I did it for 90, and we're going to take a look at it and see what it looks like now. Alright, it's formed a nice little paste. So, let's see if I can get my fingers down in there. There it is. Okay. So, boy, it turned to a paste. Which that could have been a good thing, I don't know. It's got a little bit of a finish to it. It still looks like it's pretty shiny. Really, to be honest, it just kind of looks a little dinged up. Yeah, the edge is completely gone. Of course, it still feels like there's a good little edge there that I can work with to get it resharpened. Let's check out the pocket clip. It's still got a good little shine to it. I don't know, I may just go ahead and keep it as it is. It looks like it did kind of take a little bit of the shine off. Not a whole lot. Okay guys, I kind of left you hanging in that last frame. I was debating to stick it back in the dryer for a while longer. However, after cleaning it up and looking at it, I think it looks pretty okay. It's kind of hard to see here, but this right here is just a plain satin finish, and I know the lighting is not real well, but that's a plain satin finish. And then this is the updated one. If that'll come into focus there. There you go. It actually turned out pretty well, I think. I do think that just a little bit longer, maybe another hour, and the dryer would have probably did it a little bit better. But it turned out pretty good. Let's see if I can get this one to focus. Of course, see there's that satin finish there. And just to show you, here's the Stonewash finish on my ZT. Of course, the ZT looks a little bit better. However, it should. That's professionally done. This is just done at home. But anyway, I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this thing back together. Here's the pocket clip, if it'll focus. There it goes. So it turned out pretty good, I think. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to go ahead and put this the Tenacious back together, and I'm going to sharpen it up and show you how it looks in the end. So I'll see you then. Okay guys, I've got everything all put back together. I've got the knife sharpened, and everything turned out pretty well, I'm going to say. I will say, and if you can see that there, the centering is off pretty good on the knife. If I remember correctly, it was off just a little bit to begin with, but not quite that much. However, it's not rubbing anywhere or anything like that, but the centering is off just a little bit more. But I put everything back together as I took it apart. Everything went well. I've worked on this blade for about the last hour now, trying to get it resharpened. Before the when I took it out, this thing was so dull. I mean, I could just pull it across my hand, and it wasn't doing a thing. I mean, there was no harm in cutting anybody. It was like a butter knife or worse. So since then I've been working on the blade using my Spyderco Sharp Maker. I went through the coarse rods. I spent probably at least 25, 30, maybe even 35 minutes on the coarse rods. And then I spent probably about 10 minutes using the fine. And then I spent about 10 minutes using the ultra fine, which is what's on here right now, if you can see that. And then last, after I did that, I've got a couple of scrap pieces of leather. I used the leather to strop the knife on. And now it's back sharp. Well, sorry about that, but I'm trying to hold this thing funny. You can see I probably will mess with it just a little bit more over the next couple of days, just because this is the most work I've done on a knife as far as sharpening it. But it really did. It brought it back really well, in my opinion. And let's see, I'm going to turn this camera around, see if I can get a little close-up shot of the actual finish. Hang on. Okay guys, there you go. You can see the finish on it. It does have a different finish to it than what it had. It's not super stonewashed or anything like that, but you can tell a difference on this knife as opposed to my Delica, which this is what it looked like before. Just super shiny, satin finish. And see if we can get them both in here. So there's the difference. Not a whole lot, but there is a difference. Like I said, I could have left that in the dryer for about another hour and a half, and I think it would have done more. Here's the pocket clip. But anyway, I'm excited with the way it came out. It does have that stonewash finish look to it. And what's cool is, you know, I've really made this my knife mine now. I've done personal work to it. The blade has been completely dulled and I've brought it back to life, which is really cool for me. This is the most work I've done on an edge. So anyway, I'm pretty excited about it. Anyway, I just wanted to show that. If anybody has any comments, questions, feel free to post them below, and I'll do my best to answer those questions or reply to any comments you may have. And until then, guys, I appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time.